Chief, I should do the student recording on here too. Go back up here.
That number goes a little bit. Hi, guys.
Happy to do the committee of the whole. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hopefully our friend Rob's here tonight, we'll see. All right, the adopting the minutes from the last 2 meetings. Any questions, anything on the meetings, there are the minutes. We've got a resolution that we tabled last week. According to Robert's rules, we have to either take it up this week, table it again, or it goes away. We have resolution 2324-227, resolution to authorize an additional service agreement with Acadius of New York for wastewater treatment plant improvements. By Alderman Holliday and probably
Yes, it's really
Mr. Clark.
Mr. Clark.
Did you want me to speak on that, or?
If you would like.
Oh, I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
So we're at the, as you've all heard way too much now for the last 3+ years, we're at the point, we've been trying to pull together this entire funding package for the wastewater treatment plant. The last step of that process is submitting an application to New York State Environmental Facilities Corp. For the state revolving funds to complete the work. And again, remember, this is a 0% construction loan. Most of that is, so let me back up. If you remember, we have a $10 million grant from DEC, a $4.3 million grant from EFC for WIA. We have a bipartisan infrastructure law grant for $8.758 million. And the balance of that project would, that we would potentially need, worst case, assuming all contingency is required, would be $7 million from the state revolving fund at 0%. It's worth noting that it's important to note that the current project estimate for the total cost at $30 million includes a $6 million contingency because we're in the very early stages of design. As we progress that, I expect to see that number tighten up considerably, and I would expect to see the overall total project budget decrease somewhat. The good news about the fact that we are funded 75% through grants with no payback on that is that we were able to add some items of work. EFC asked us to consider doing that and make a complete project out of it. Some of those items of work include adding a bypass to the chlorine contact tank, modifying our aeration basins by splitting them, each train into 2, mechanical upgrades to the primary clarifiers. Again, this is work that was not in the original scope, but with the additional $10 million grant from New York State DEC, we're able to. That's WQIP, if nobody's had enough acronyms from me in the last few years. Paving the plant road, the blacktop when we're done, because it will be destroyed. SCADA controls integration over the entire facility and all pump stations and tying everything together. HVAC in the building, which presently is atrocious. And HVAC for the sludge building, which is non-existent. And catwalk and operator safety, systems, for a stairway and a catwalk for the sludge building as well. So one of the benefits of this project is that it's gonna reduce our operating costs, overhead to include, right now, for example, in the coming budget year, electrical power, budget for the wastewater treatment plant is $300,000 there. Energy intensive motors, they're 50 years old, very inefficient. And we'll probably use almost all of that $300,000 with the new efficient variable speed motors and variable frequency drives. I fully expect that we will shave at least a third off of that power budget, or $100,000. And also, as you may remember, or not in the budget, we this current year saw an increase in our equipment maintenance line for the plant because it just seems to climb every year. This year it's at, for this coming budget year, it's at $150,000. I fully expect to see that go down by at least $50,000 and perhaps more, but I think $50,000 is a conservative projection. Bottom line, when you distill all that down, and what everyone wants to know when you get to the end of the road and this project's complete and we go to long-term financing, the impact per user, equivalent dwelling units, or the units that, which are the units that the city assesses the flat rate based on, I project $7.55 increase at 3 years from now. And that's assuming that there's no other increases in revenue over the current year. So anyway, the last piece of that story is that the additional components of that project need to be designed, because it adds an additional design cost, considerable, and it adds another 10 months to the length of the project, which requires full-time construction inspection and construction phase engineering on site. And that is the reason for an additional services agreement with our consultant.
Well done.
Okay. Any questions for the engineer on that? Thank you. All right, the next thing is a resolution to award annual electric services contract to Executive Electric. This is resolution 23-24, 228, which is actually on the bottom of the previous page, but if you wanted that for your own notes, it's right there. Alderman Marticello?
Being at the city, is I have an electrician full-time. We go out every year for electrician. And this year, Sizzling Electric and Executive Electric were the two bidder items there. And you can see by the way the resolution is read, annual electric services and contract and support for needs for electrical equipment like traffic lights and any power requirements that is owned by the city of Amsterdam. Now, I think one of the things we're doing right now is wiring in the golf course. All right, Mike?
There has been electrical work there that's done there. There's also been multiple other
Projects, right, in the city?
yeah, there's also multiple other electrical repairs that we've had to do.
Right.
One of the things that limits our choices of who we can get as an electrical contractor is the fact that it requires a contractor that has a bucket truck and experience with streetlights and traffic lights.
Right. Can we also have the traffic lights? There aren't many left in the city of Amsterdam, but the ones that we do have, this company right here will be called upon in case of emergency, anytime they need to be done, it will be called and they will do it. And they're a little bit. Any questions? Thank you.
All right, the next thing is resolution to award miscellaneous demolition, also Alderman Marticello.
Yes, as you can see by where they are, 127 Division, 158 Division, 11 Edson Street, 95 Grove. Most of these are in conditions where they're in danger. And what they do is they need to be to come down because of, as you can see, if you read the resolution, the need of certain owned properties and the public advertise and these bids for these 4 properties and they're the lowest responsible bidder. Therefore, we do have money to do this. And Chief Vesta, I talked to him about it. We rode around. He showed me every one of these buildings. And I want to thank you, Chief, for that. And they definitely have to come down. Definitely. If you've seen them, you'll know that you cannot repair these houses.
2 of them are already in piles.
Yeah, they're in piles right now. So that's what this is. And Mike did a great job on this resolution. And I believe Dan's is it, Mike? Lowest.
Dan's demolition is a little better.
We're gonna go with 3 out of the 4.
We're gonna go with 3 out of the 4. The property on Edson Street, there's a lot of weight there and it's just too pricey, I think, at this time.
Okay. So wait, do I need to amend this?
No, the way it's written, we're only awarding 101.6.
Oh, I see. 1, 2, and 4.
Do these prices include Holloway?
This is the Holloway for
This is the demolition.
127, the 2 division streets is the demo and Holloway.
Okay.
And then 95 Grove, it is the removal of the debris from that house that fell down.
Okay, thank you very much, Mike. Good job. Good job. Thank you. Next.
All right, resolution approving the audit. Alderman Collins, any audit? Fine, everything's good. Excellent. All right, so we've got a packet there. We've got a few consent resolutions on our desks. We will start with 231, which is resolution of transfer funds for emergency stormwater work on Lion Street. Is this the same as
Mr. Clark.
before, or
Okay, so,
we did one fix? More has happened on Lion Street?
so here's the thing. The history of this is the storm line that drains that entire intersection. It's the lowest point in the area. That storm line runs through what was the old Mahasco Mills basement. And we've always had some concern about the fact that they dropped, 6 or 8 million pounds of concrete on top of it. It got worse and worse over the years, and now it will not even drain. We had put in an emergency measure late last fall, probably early December, with a stone line swale. We can't possibly make that thing big enough to maintain it to pass all the water that flows to that point. And we had a considerable amount of erosion last Monday. So we had a camera service, sewer camera, TV that line yesterday. And you about 80 feet in from the creek, you can't even see it. It's just building debris. So the pipe's absolutely crushed. So what we're gonna do is, we redesigned a new storm line to stay right clear of the DEC, regulated area of the old Mahasco. Run it down Lion Street, 170 feet, and then another 100 feet to the creek, where, basically take a sharp angle. 36-inch pipe, we will not have to clean that again. It is not gonna clog. It's big enough to handle that water. And there is the money in sewer contingency to do it, so I'm asking that we.
Mike, you took a look up on the hill too, with where that stone was coming from?
Yes, I did. We found there's a couple of driveways going up the hill, at the very least, that are stone driveways. And, what's the side street?
Wilbur? No, Finley and Smyrna.
Finley and Smyrna, I think we're getting some debris washing down through there. The good thing about this is a pipe that big and the size structures we're gonna set, they're gonna be self-cleaning with the volume of water we get.
Is there anything we can do up above?
Yeah, we could ask people to pave the apron of the driveway to start, but absent that, we may have to do some, I haven't really thought about what we've been doing on those 2 short side streets that are very.
Okay, because I know a lot of debris came down.
Oh, yeah, it sure did.
Is there any onus on the owner of the former Mahasco Mill to make any correction, fix anything?
I think we owned it at the time of demolition.
We demolished it.
Okay,
It was done as a brownfields project.
We demolished it.
It's since been transferred. We got no choice. We do
Yeah.
not want to run a pipe back across that,
sure.
the capped area.
Right, we wouldn't want to put it over there anyway. That makes sense. Any other question on that one? Great. Also, we have a ceremonial resolution tonight recognizing June 2024 as LGBTQI+ Pride Month in the city of Amsterdam. We pass this every year, and then we'll be Centro Civico and Ibero will be putting up the Pride flag, I believe, June 20th, at our ceremonial pole in the park over there. So we wanted to get this passed ahead of time. Any questions on that? Excellent. Watch died.
Under old business. Under old business.
Yeah, we have old business. Yeah, we briefly mentioned that, but if you want to talk about that more, we do have the resolution from last meeting
I'm just gonna
regarding
I'll
Medicare B.
move it. Okay. Under old business resolution modifying Medicare B contribution pursuant to Amsterdam City Code 40-B40. It was tabled May 28th. I'm gonna make a motion to take it off the table.
I would like to make a motion, maybe to amend it, to make some type of, and I don't know if I'm doing this wrong, so someone stop me if I am, by all means, I'm the new guy. But we're all trying to make a compromise here, right? So what about $33 a month for current employees? You know, I feel personally, I do have a fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayers. You know, we're eating this 100% as of now. So my idea was $33 a month for current employees. All future employees as a 7-1, it's just cut. They pay 100%. And
So basically, you wanna make an amendment to this resolution. Tony, he wants to make a resolution, I'll make an amendment to reduce 66 to 33. And then as of July 1st, go into effect 0.
Well, if I've wait,
Well, that's why I'm trying to follow this.
just bear with me for a moment.
Yep.
Before Alderman Holliday spoke, you made a motion to,
Remove off the table.
okay, can you withdraw that motion for me right now?
No, I'm gonna make a motion, no, well, this is discussion, let's put it this way. This is running
It would
discussion.
just be easier if you withdraw that
Okay, I'll
motion.
make a motion.
It's withdrawn, okay. So now we're dealing with your motion.
sure,
I
Yeah.
think, if I've understood correctly, you want to amend the resolution to make it so that for any active employee or spouse that retires after July 1, 2024, the reimbursement rate would go to $33, be capped at $33 per month. And then you're also further moving that for any new hires, subsequent or effective July 1, 2024, that any new hires would have reimbursement of 0.
right.
Is that the motion you're making?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to, really come to terms with everybody before we move forward on something like this. You know, it's just an idea.
So you're
Right.
not moving it right now, you're kind of just talking about moving
It's
it.
discussion, yeah, right.
Okay,
I think it would need to be moved off the table and then amended in the meeting, if that's what Mr. Holliday wants to do.
We're just,
I'm just trying to figure out what we're trying to do first.
Yeah, right now, we're trying to figure out what to do.
I'm just spitballing over here.
Let me follow you. Reimbursement rate amount having been adjusted by the way of past was capped at $66. Now it's desirous to modify Medicare Part B reimbursement rate, that of 0 per month, and you want to amend that part right there
To
to
33,
33.
so we could kind of come to terms, middle of the road, kind of.
But that 33, sorry to interrupt,
Sure, go
that
ahead.
33 is $33 per month being the cap reimbursement for active employees and spouses who retire after July 1 of 2024.
It says here effective July 1, 2024.
I mean, I wouldn't mind pushing it out another year, but that's just my 2 cents too. To to give the people who want to retire soon
I can go
an
along.
opportunity,
I will support that. I will
you know, or
support.
maybe even 2 years. I mean,
And remember, this is not retirement, this is enrollment. This
I
is,
wanna
you have to turn 65 by the day.
right,
So the retirement has nothing to do with it, it's when someone's birthday is. So you can make it next month, you can make it 7 months from now, it doesn't affect really anybody's retirement because that's based on when they turn 65.
Well, I'm going by what this says here. I'm gonna amend with a rare.
Which is
can't amend
exactly what I
I'm not
said.
talking, I'm just discussion. If he's gonna amend, I'm not amending anything.
Okay.
I have 10 minutes to discuss this. It says by resolution, and I'm gonna take it off the table, and we're gonna discuss it in the committee of the whole. And that's what I'm discussing. So we're in the whereas clause, where it says, whereas the city is desirous to modify Medicare Part B reimbursement rate that of 0 per month effective July 1, 2024 for retirees who have not enrolled in a Medicare Part B prior to June 30th. So if you want to amend, if you're going to make an amendment, you amend that whereas clause where it says, whereas the city is desirous to modify the Medicare Part B reimbursement rate to that of, amend from 0 to 33,
33.
right there. That wording right there, 33 per month effectively July 24 for retirees who have not enrolled in Medicare Part B, June 30th, 2024. Is that what you want to do?
Thanks for the help, Jim, yes.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I think, do as you wish. I thought, I
Why
understood,
are you thinking when I already made a
because I
suggestion?
think that's only a portion of what Alderman Holliday was trying to do.
All right.
Plus the additional year or two, I'm, like I said, I'm just trying to have a discussion and, you know, bounce ideas.
Isn't there a component of this that applies to new hires after July 1?
And the new hires, essentially everyone who's hired now is grandfathered to only have to pay $33 compared to the 66 that was on the table. And after, let's say, whatever date
After
we
July
decide,
1,
Yes.
July 1, 2024.
every new hire now is responsible to pay 100% of Part B after they hit 65.
So that would be the motion. It would be not just changing 0 to 33. It would be 33, comma, and in addition, any new hires.
Sure.
Well, yeah, he's he's really adding to this resolution. He's not cutting, he's adding. It was 0, my resolution was 0. Now he's adding 33 per month.
He's reducing it to 33 and cutting it off altogether for new hires after July 1.
After July 1,
I think that's what you're saying.
It is, yeah.
I just wanted to point out that this did not become obvious to me until a couple days ago, but this was not the final version that ended up going in the agenda. If you recall,
I think that's incorrect, though. I think the agenda is exactly right. I met with Stephanie right before we started.
the wording in the resolution we agreed upon was.
I don't
mean,
want
I'm
you to
just
take
setting
us
the
down
record straight.
a rabbit hole that we don't need to go down because we're talking about modifying it anyways, Louise.
What was she gonna, could you finish what you were gonna say?
This was the first version of the resolution that was written. And then Kim and I chimed in on it and gave alternate wording for the resolved line. It was supposed to say we're effective, it was effective for people who retired prior to, it was not, sorry, going into effect, I can't remember the exact words, for anybody who retires after July 1st. That was
As
the
important
original
to
wording.
enrollment,
It
you're
wasn't
saying.
anything, it
Right,
wasn't tied
right.
to enrolling in
You're covering.
Medicare
Right,
Part
because
B.
retirement has, yeah,
It
enrollment
was
has
tied to when they
Not
retired.
enrollment.
Correct.
So that was something that we specifically changed, but that wording did not make the agenda, and I didn't notice it the night of the meeting, but it was brought to my attention 2 days ago.
so what would you add, Louise, to make this, what Alderman Holliday is trying to say?
The original intent, the spirit behind this was to stop, these reimbursements for future retirees. Just anybody that we had picked a deadline We decided on the deadline months and months ago of July 1st. Okay, yes, it ended up being a very short window just because of the timing of when, the resolution was finally completed, but it was always supposed to be 3-4 month window. So nobody was, blindsided. We wanted to give people time to plan and prepare for it. But the recommendation was to stop the reimbursements for people who retired after a certain point. But
So
so
is-
grandfather in every current recipient of the
If
reimbursement.
I could ask, is this just a tool for negotiating future contracts?
This is not in the contract.
Correct, but so when, this becomes a moot point when people retire and it says they get 50% of their health insurance costs covered, or they get 100% based on what their contract is. So whether we say $33, $66, whatever, if employee A retires with 100% healthcare cost coverage, we pay the entire amount of Medicare. And the same thing for the 50%. So I don't see the purpose of doing this legislatively when the cost of retiree healthcare is negotiated in these contracts and you've had to cover it anyway. We're not paying $66 to most employees right now. We're paying the full amount because that's what their contract said. So 66 doesn't mean anything either because it's not what we're actually paying people. This is not
There are about
actually
130
reality.
There are about 130 people who get paid $66. I'm not sure.
Well, and a lot of people who get paid the full amount, right?
Full amount's about 20.
Yeah, and so that's based on their contracts. So
No, that
it's
was
just,
not based on a contract. That was a lawsuit.
It's not in the contract.
which was
There's
based on their
132 people.
contract.
There's
Well, the
130.
They sued you to uphold their
The
contract.
Of a
contract said
certain
at
union,
no
of a
cost.
certain union,
Right,
not every union.
correct.
That's correct, is right, not every union.
And there will be no change to them.
And the
So,
one that has a union, that has no change, you're right. There's gonna be no change to the people who in that union who fought and won, there's no change. But the people who are not in the union, who did not fight, who did not win, and we're fools if we're gonna negotiate this, and you think they're gonna negotiate this in, ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
How do we want to word the resolution when we amend it?
Something
We need some
about-
help with that.
there are two classes of employees, those with powerful unions and those without. And we plan to not take care of those without powerful unions. That's how we should amend it. If we're being honest.
You're making a general statement about not taking care of people that, is very, very drastic.
It is a very
It's
drastic
very
thing.
drastic, not taking, we do take care of people. How do we want to
Not
change?
everybody can be a
the wording?
fireman or a policeman. So that's not really fair to the people who are not firemen and who are not policemen.
This is not fair to the people who are not firemen and not policemen.
Exactly.
You are absolutely right. This
And
whole
exactly.
resolution is not fair to everyone in that room that is not a fireman or a policeman. That is my point from the beginning. It is not fair. It is two different classes.
So
of
let's,
employee.
because you're not a fireman or a policeman, let's go out to the public and all the people out there who are paying for their salaries right now, that's fair?
Their salaries as if they're not doing anything for all the people who are paying their salary.
I think I
They're
said-
not
I think I
fixing
said
their
enough on
roads.
this.
They're not
I don't want
helping
to
them
get
in any
personal, but I
way.
think I said enough.
Okay,
You
let's,
certainly have.
let us clear up the amendment on this resolution so that we can vote on it tonight. With the wording of this, whereas pursuant to the Amsterdam City Code section, all eligible retirees will maintain Medicare B insurance as soon as eligible for all covered individuals. The cost of this shall be reimbursed or credited by the city in the amount previously set by resolution. And whereas the reimbursement rate, this is where we need to, whereas the reimbursement rate amount having less been adjusted by way of resolution to a cap rate of $66 per month effective July 25th. That's not where we make any change. So the wording that we need to change is whereas the city is desirous to modify the Medicare B reimbursement rate to that of $0 per month effective July 1, 2024 for retirees is no longer correct.
So what I would suggest is that the third whereas paragraph
Right.
be amended to say that the city's desires to modify the Medicare Part B reimbursement rate to that of $33 per month, effective July, for all for all active employees and spouses who retire subsequent to July 3rd, June 30, 2024, and that the city is desirous to sunset this policy for new hires that are hired by the city effective July 1, 2024, where this Medicare reimbursement benefit will not be available at all to those new hires. Then your resolve paragraph would be modified the same way. Resolve Medicare Part B shall be modified to the rate of $33 per month for all active employees and spouses who retire subsequent to June 30, 2024, and for new hires hired after July 1, 2024, the reimbursement rate shall be 0.
Gonna write that down.
I,
Now, do we want to talk about the July 1 date?
it's time to start the meeting.
Okay.
I'd like resolutions to be completed before the meeting starts. This isn't a workshop period, like right now.
Well, it's up to whatever the majority of you want to
Yeah.
do. You don't have to start the meeting at 6 o'clock.
Tony, would you just write out,
Anytime you
write out the
work through the
resolution and
agenda.
then the amended resolution so that we can have something in writing?
Yeah,
Okay.
why don't I type it up? Why don't you guys go through the rest of your meeting and I'll go downstairs and
Very good.
type up the resolution.
So when this comes to this resolution, you're gonna hold off on it or what?
No, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
if
take it
I'm
off.
not
I'm gonna-
back inside, you're gonna have to hold off.
Okay.
Someone's gonna have to print it.
Please stand.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alderwoman Christmas.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Here.
Alderwoman Collins. Alderman Carpenter. Alderman Marticello.
Here,
It might seem like I'm getting in my car driving home, but I'm not.
I'm sorry.
I was making a joke.
Okay. Adoption of the agenda?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda plus 2 consents. And do we have to plus the old business, or is it just,
No, I think that's,
we'll do that to pass, okay.
okay. Motion to adopt the agenda?
Alderwoman Christmas.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
all right,
Any proclamations? Okay, so we are now at the communications and presentations portion. Is the recreation department here?
Nope.
Okay.
I'll just-
Zoning board agenda. Someone put this on the agenda. They want to discuss this?
No, this is just a list of,
That's just what was
what we've
received.
received, communications we've received.
Okay,
Mhm.
gotcha. Public participation. Anyone like to speak? Please come to the podium, state your name, address, and you have a 5-minute time.
John Archett with 12 at 18 Austin Street. Mayor, every once in a while I see articles in there about foreclosures. I saw some statements that made by Jim recently. If you can't afford to stay here, you can't afford to stay here. Maybe some people are more concerned about buying food and paying their national grid bill than paying their sewer and garbage and their utility bills. All right, the foreclosures that we've had in the 30 years that I've been come to these meetings have all been successful. All right, you might have to put some work into the buildings, but they've all been successful. And a lot of people don't worry about who their neighbors are, but we survive. So I don't see the reason why we have to have too much discussion about foreclosures. Yes, maybe the city doesn't want to really get into the real estate business, but once again, we're successful in that. Another thing is, it may not really have to do with the city, but I was wondering, Mayor, maybe you could talk to Angelo Santa Barbara and whatever about this bottle bill, which I think, right now you get a nickel deposit. They want to increase it up to a dime. I was buying water, I still do, but I did away with the nickel deposits. I got like the gallon type jugs that doesn't have the deposit. You know, it's, a lot of these redemption centers are closing up. You know, they're having a lot of problems with that. You know, and I think, you know, it should be discussed, you know, even at a dime or so like that. I think that's not gonna really work that much and really be a benefit if you increase it, because you're gonna increase the price of the product. And it's not just gonna be for the wine bottles or the sports drinks bottles. When I go to the Little League games or so, they have the sports drinks, Kelly, and you'll see a dime deposit, but it's for California, you know? And now if they do that in New York, you're gonna either have to hire more people or so, and it's not, I think it's gonna be kind of like a failure or something. They're gonna have a lot of problems, but overall, the other things that we buy will increase anyway, just the price of the sports drinks and whatever, and other things that we see as it is the price of food going up and things. So I don't think it's a good thing or so like that. I was always look like gung-ho worried a little bit about the landfills, but like I say, the guy's so out of hand. And when you go buy this water or something or beverage or so and return it, a lot of them are getting ticked off. I thought it was easier to buy the gallon jug, which is, you just throw it out. Landfills are supposed to be filled up within 25 years. We're gonna have a lot of problems with the landfill. But sooner or later, we're gonna have to, you know, get that straightened out, and we're gonna have to try to sell things that we have that are going into the landfill that somebody else can use. You know, the glass and stuff, sometimes that gets broken up and stuff, and they can put that in the roads and stuff. All right, that's one thing or so like that. Sometimes they take other things, old tires, they make them into hoses and stuff. But that's what we gotta do. We gotta try to get other people from the outside to get these landfill products and to alleviate from the landfill. But like I say, I think it's gonna cost us a lot of money when a lot of things that we buy at the store, it's gonna go way up in price. All right, thank you.
All right, thanks, Chet. I do want to mention, Chet, that Grow Amsterdam just opened up a new community garden and a compost station on Kimball Street. And if, you know, you talk about trying not to throw things away, and they offer a great service where you can take organic food wastes, instead of throwing them in your garbage, bring them to their composting plant on Wall Street or Kimball, and they take care of them for you.
One of the best things we've got, when I talked to them people, when we were at those, the parties that we had, the block dances, one of the best things that we got in the city
Yeah,
like that.
Absolutely, agreed. Anyone else, please?
My name is David Gamula. I live on 45 Brookside Avenue in Amsterdam, New York. The mayor told me if I saw any properties that could swing either way. There's one at 33 Garden Street. Garbage out front. It looks like that property could be saved. I'm not sure, but could somebody look into it? Other than that, the property across the street from me at 4850 Brookside Avenue, with the swimming pool outside and everything else. There's big trees that are overlapping. And if they come down, there's going to be a problem. Also, Chief Agresta told me that going up Story Street, there's limbs that are hanging over, and he said he would contact Niagara Mohawk about them, and they're still there. So that's about it.
Thank you, Dave. Anyone else?
John Louch, ASME Local 1614 President. We were asking if you'd please drop the resolution modifying Medicare Part B. Recently, my union in negotiations went from 15% in health insurance from 10. It's an extra cost. We had no retroactive pay. Other unions did. Other unions didn't go up the 5%, which in negotiations, we were told everybody's going up. I believe the city has an 8% insurance increase for health insurance July 1st. Is that correct?
9.5, actually.
9.5? So there's more impact on my guys. I mean, we're gonna see it. So with the $66.60 a month, which was capped in May 2005, I'm asking, please just drop the resolution. I don't have to tell my union members that the city's taking more from us. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes. Philip Rocky. I represent CSA Local 629 in the building here, as well as other areas in the city. I echo what John said about dropping that modifications to the Medicare Part B reimbursement for multiple reasons. I think it's a drop in the bucket. And the 150,000, I believe, is you stated as the number.
165, actually.
So less than 3% of the total health insurance bill. Total health insurance bill is how much prior to retirement? How much is it per year? 6, 7 million?
The city?
Yeah.
Cost to the city is about 6 million.
6 million. It's less than 3%. Is it less than 3% roughly?
That is not part of the health insurance cost, that's over and above.
I'll talk about what you think you're saving.
Um,
I'm gonna go over your savings. Plan. All right, so we'll get whatever there, the little tiny peanut of a percent of a budget. 33 million, how many $1 million budget?
38.
38 million, peanut. All right, so we don't cut other departments when they lose money. We don't do that. Golf loses money consistently for the 28 years I've been here. I think it's the most beautiful place we have in the city. I really do. I don't want to see it be cut ever. But it loses money because you're probably never gonna change that. I hope you do. I give you credit for trying. I give you credit for looking out for it and trying to do the right thing by it. It's never gonna make you money. It's not gonna serve every taxpayer. We serve every taxpayer. The police, the fire, DPW, wastewater, water filtration, city hall, every one of us serves every taxpayer. Everybody can utilize our people. We just ask you, let us retire, become a senior citizen. There's different things that have changed in contracts where Kelly is right. We pay differently as we retire now. You pay more. So the people that aren't paying now are gonna be gone. The people that are gonna retire later are going to be contributing and paying. There's been changes in negotiations and contracts. We've all made sacrifices throughout the different departments over negotiations. Please, don't take another benefit away from a senior citizen at 65 years old, just as some of you are here. You probably get upset when your things go up. I would hope you do. Everybody should. Whether it's inflation, whether it's anything, it bothers you when it goes up, when you take something away. You've got a budget now differently. I believe, Chris, you said it right last time about seeing people in the soup line that were teachers that retired at this amount of money 25 years ago. Some of us, very few of us, we gotta be 55 to get our time in. So there's a smaller window to get to 65. However, we got that window where we're gonna become that guy. This is what we froze at when we retired. Not a lot of them make a lot of money in this building especially. So when you think about what you're gonna push them to down the future, it's a pittance that you're trying to save. There's other ways to save. We've negotiated ways to save that haven't been implemented, that should be. That we were told were big savings, we went to the table. Is this gonna be another one of those things? It's a big savings, but you're not gonna implement like we negotiated with you. I'm sorry, this bothers me because think of the people that are here. I make some more money than some of them, and I may be okay. But the ladies downstairs and the lady, everybody all over here, this is what they're here for. This is why they come every day. This is why they love their job, why they love their city. A lot of them are born and bred here. They stayed here. Their families are here. please, let them live here and enjoy their senior lives at 65 with the money they get. So,
I just have to say one thing to the union, and I heard everything. But you do get $66 extra per week in your paycheck, yes or no? And you get a $1.65 raise?
Yeah, I understand, I mean.
Did you yes or no? You got a $1.65 raise,
yes.
which is equivalent to $66 per week extra, right? You're right about everything else, but you're not, I can't sit here and have you come to the podium and say you got nothing.
Didn't say we didn't get nothing.
I know you didn't, and I'm saying it too, you didn't get nothing. You got $66 extra a week.
We negotiated.
Guys,
And
to
you
deal
don't
with the
say-
cost of living
That was
expenses that are
a catch
today.
up.
Not
Alright.
because they're 60.
That's because minimum wage was gonna
Well,
out.
geez, thank you for chiming in.
I just want to say one
Thank
thing.
you.
We're focusing on insurance costs. We're paying the city, the taxpayers, when I say we, all of you, are paying 85% of the increase of the cost from this point forward. And that number is growing dramatically. And we're just trying to focus on the problem, not on cutting your benefits, but trying to make sure the benefit is there. We got to be able to afford it. And this little amount that you're talking about, it is a little amount, but they add up. And we're going to be looking going forward. And we negotiate with every group hard, trying to get them to understand the dilemma we're in, that these costs are the fastest growing cost of city government. They represent 1/6 of our budget, and there's no shortcutting it. We're going to have to pay for it, and we've got to figure out how to do it. And we're going to ask the taxpayers to pay a lot more of it, but we're asking you guys to pay a little bit of it. And I'm not saying it's the answer. I'm not saying it's going to be the total solution, but we're going to continue to negotiate with the other groups who aren't paying as hard as we can. I promise you that. We don't go in saying, well, we don't want you guys to pay as much as everybody else is paying. We go in saying we want it. And we'll continue to do that. But I understand what you're saying, Phil.
I do, it's something Louise had mentioned earlier, I'm not picking on you at all, Louise, but when you bring kids' name into it, it's supposed to be employee relations, that is part of this. I have a problem with the employee relation lady being part of that.
Mhm.
That's not something she should be looking out for, that's a budget thing, that's something that's over and above. It's not controller anymore. She was controller in 2005 when you did it. She's not.
Okay, well, thank you. Is there anyone else in the public who would like to speak? Okay. Controller, Louise? Okay, we will skip over old business and move on to new business.
Mayor, I just have one question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you just mention your office is not collecting taxes during your,
Oh, that's fine.
That is no longer the case.
oh, okay.
We have run up against a hiccup with our new software implementation, so it's getting pushed back to probably August now. So those notices that were posted online, I believe came down today.
Okay.
It's unfortunate, but we have to.
Can we replace them with a notice that they will be taking it? Because
Yes.
people have already
I
written
think
down.
that's what Commissioner
Yes.
said.
We didn't get to the engineer's report. Should we do that now?
We can certainly do that now. If you'd like to do that now, Michael?
Thank you. Well, I hit on the two big items already that we discussed in the resolutions that are proposed for this evening. Additional services for Arcadis agreement, and as well as the transfer of funds so that we can complete the storm sewer on Lion Street. Other items that are still outstanding, I'm still waiting on approval from the DOT to award the Florida Ave culvert replacement project. Again, Keller's a little better, 525. It's been over a month. DOT hasn't signed off on it to my knowledge, at least not as of this morning. And important to remember that that's 100% grant. No cost to the city. Road program, we have a pre-construction meeting with contractor next Monday, the 10th. and I'm hopeful that they will mobilize shortly thereafter. Work continues at the golf course. I have carpenters here. That's not that's not the whole of it. Water crew is doing a significant amount of work, extending the water line across the facility so that we have adequate service going into the proposed clubhouse area, as well as water supply for pro shop bathrooms. And also the transmission line clearing project. You haven't heard me speak about that in quite a while. We are now essentially complete on that. We need to do a walkthrough to verify whether or not there's any small punch list items for that job. And if anybody has any questions or
We
comments.
started the Veterans Field parking lot. I saw work up there today.
Yes, and we're working with Montgomery County, coordinating. I expect that we'll have the sub base down here. The county's gonna haul in stone. We already have the road fabric, so
Okay.
most of that will probably be down here by the end of this week. And in speaking with the highway commissioner, or public works commissioner for the county, they will get it on their schedule to pave as part of their road program for the season, which he's beginning now, so.
Okay. Chief Thomas, we had a request, a couple requests about speed limit on Locust Avenue by the park, if that could be lowered. Is it 30 now?
It is 30 now.
Can we lower that?
I think that's where they have a conversation at a later point in time.
Pardon me?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay,
I think it's a conversation that's consider everything.
okay. All righty, anything else? Mike, you're all set? All right, so we'll go back to old business?
Should I go grab that resolution?
I would suggest
You
that.
go to new business? No, we can't go to anywhere until Steph is back. Anything else anyone would like to discuss while Steph is getting the print, something out of the print? Questions?
Do you want to perhaps have me read this while we wait?
You
Just in
certainly can.
case there are additional changes that someone might want? Okay. So the third whereas paragraph, whereas the city desires to modify section 40-4B of the Amsterdam City Code to provide that for current employees that retire subsequent to June 30, 2024, the Medicare Part B monthly reimbursement cap provided by the city be reduced to $33 per month per said employee and spouse. And the city's further desires to sunset this reimbursement provision, rendering it ineligible to employees hired on or subsequent to July 1, 2024. Resolved, for current employees that retire subsequent to June 30, 2024, the Medicare Part B monthly reimbursement shall be capped at $33 per month. And for employees hired on or subsequent to July 1, 2024, there shall be no Medicare Part B reimbursement by the city upon retirement. That's what you got.
Everybody understand that?
So really, we have to, take the resolution off the table.
And then it would be a motion to amend that.
Take a and after that, after a discussion, then you make a motion to amend.
As redrafted and distributed.
That's all, Holly.
Can we push that retirement out a year for the people who plan on retiring, let's say, at the end of this year, so they're not,
If you'd like to,
that's just an idea, like I said before, just throwing around some ideas. I feel there is compromise, right? You have a great point with, how we feel about the budget. The gentlemen over here have great points about what they do for the city, and I feel like there's middle ground. And this is just my personal feelings. I feel like this kind of accomplishes,
If you're posing the question to me, can you?
yes.
The answer is yes, you can. All of these issues that we're discussing here would fall in under the category of policy decisions. So it really comes down to, at the end of the day, it comes down to what the majority of the five of you desire to do. I don't have a horse in this race. I'm just trying to effectuate what you want.
What do you want to start?
And since it hasn't been introduced yet, you could change
So
that.
people who are retiring, let's say,
Right.
give them another year to capture what we
I
have.
don't
currently.
think anybody's retired here.
I mean, I wouldn't know, yeah. So this gentleman here would be, you know, right.
So this is going into effect in a year from now?
I mean, that's just my idea. It could be 2 years. I mean,
If you want to make it a year from now, I don't, it goes into effect.
I think we shouldn't be voting on something that
and
half the people don't even know what's on here, like,
We just read it. How you not know what's on there? You just read it.
Okay.
this has been
okay.
something that has been in the works for 3 months. We got it a week ago. It wasn't even written correctly. We've now edited it during a meeting
I'm
and it's
changing it
now
right
being
now.
Would you like to
printed
sit
out.
on it.
I like
You
to
said
just
change it
change it. I like to.
to date. Do we have 3 to change the date?
I'll go along with it.
Yeah,
Go for it,
You're gonna
Irene.
change the date
Move
from,
the date back so that it doesn't take impact until June 30th, 2025.
7/1/25, right?
So
So
that
we have
people
to
have
make-
another
I
year
mean, you have to
before.
make a few changes.
Okay.
Everywhere it says June 30, 2024.
I think it should be tabled, I think it should just be tabled, and then you guys can come back with a resolution that's fully
Smart.
complete, that has all the
Kel,
details
Kel,
in
we're
it.
talking, and then you can just make a statement. Let Tony finish his thought. Go ahead.
And the changes that would need to be made would be wherever it says June 30, 2024, it has to be changed to 25. And wherever it says July 1, 2024, it has to be changed to 25. So there'd be 2 changes in what's third whereas paragraph and 2 changes in the resolve paragraph.
Except for new hires, right? There's no, anybody who hired after July 1st, 2024.
There
that
shall be
doesn't-
no Medicare Part B
Okay.
reimbursement by the city upon
Yeah.
retirement.
Does everybody understand that?
Yes, I do.
I think as a council, we should not be passing resolutions that are not complete.
Okay. All
And
right,
that's
so
what
we are.
I would recommend to my council members is just to have vote on at least have something that's not hot off the presses halfway through the meeting, and that it's fully matches up with the controller, the mayor, and the corporation council being on the same page about it. They're not even on the same page about it.
I don't
So
have a
I think
page.
it should.
I don't have a page, to be clear. I'm
Louise, are you
just
okay with this?
I'm not
trying
fully
to
clear on
interpret
what
what
this
you want.
means, and my concern is that we have the administrative capability to actually execute this, and I'm just not clear on how this would work. I just need to read it and digest it. So it's not, so current recipients, they're getting reduced to $33 according to this? And we're grandfathering in all the current employees?
No,
That's what's not, that's what I'm having, like I said, I'm just trying to
there's
read
no
this and
grant,
make sure I
there's no
understand.
grant, there's no grant.
For current employees,
Let's read the amendment, let's read the resolution.
Current recipients of this, right?
Rich, didn't you suggest grandfathering in the current employees and anybody after July 1st was going to be?
Current employees right now would only be responsible for $33
Correct.
upon their
That's
time.
That's not exactly right, Alderman Holliday. What the resolution contemplates is that the city's reimbursement is capped at $33. The employee might have an expense for Medicare Part B in excess of $33.
Our responsibility would be $33, right, rather than 0. I misspoke, thank you.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
A lot of them
Thank
pay
you for
more.
clearing
I'd like to make a motion to table this as it is not in a state in which it should be voted on.
I agree.
So that is my motion.
Motion's on the floor to table the amendment.
I agree. We should think about it, talk about it.
Well, she'll call a roll on that.
Okay.
Okay, motion to table Alderwoman Quistamars,
Aye.
Alderman Holliday,
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins, Alderman Carpenter,
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
No. Only because I fully understand it. Thank you.
I'll remind everyone that there's 2 weeks between meetings. You're all welcome to interact with me in between meetings. I am going away on vacation, so I won't be around next week.
Okay,
I got a question. We're still in discussion, right?
yes.
Does this mean Alderman who voted yes to table? Does this mean you're all for it? Once that becomes clear to everyone? You don't have any problem with it? Once it becomes clear to everybody here, in 2 weeks, you have a problem voting for that?
Well, I want to make sure the controller, yeah.
I want to make sure the controller knows it too, and I want to make sure we all know it. Is that clear to everybody?
That we're voting on it?
No,
Or that
in
we're
two,
passing
in 2 weeks, that we're gonna vote and pass it.
I'm not voting on it.
No.
I'm
There's
not
no
giving- I'm not
obligation
giving
for
you an
anybody to
obligation
vote
right now to
anyway.
say that I'm gonna vote on something that I don't agree with.
I agree
And
with
that doesn't
you. know what?
exist at this
I
point.
agree with you.
And
You're
since we're
just
still in
wasting
discussion,
time.
let me
All you're
just say
doing is
that,
wasting
well, wait a
time.
minute,
That's all
everybody
you're doing.
spoke, let me get a chance to say something.
Right.
You know, the bottom line is the retirement is not a gift, it's earned. Nobody retires with more money than they make when they were gainfully employed. I understand and I respect everybody's opinions on this matter. But this privately outside this room, this has become a political issue and it's had a lot of bullying crap that goes along with it for the last 10 days. And I am not comfortable with submitting a bill to our employees so they can turn around and say thank you when they have to pay more money from the moment they retire for the rest of their lives. I don't care if it's $33 or $66. This bill doesn't have my support. You guys do what you need to do. I'm gonna vote no. I don't care if you table it or vote on it right now. I am sticking up for them. I'm standing up for them and I will every single time. You know, we talk about that we want to be there for our taxpayers. Well, they're taxpayers too. And that's where I stand on it. If anybody doesn't like it, I really don't care.
Thank you. Any more discussion on this? It's been tabled. We will. Okay. Okay, we are now into the regular resolutions.
Resolution 2324-226, resolution adopting the minutes of the last common council meeting by Alderwoman Quista Mars. Resolve the minutes of the common council regular meeting of May 21st, 2024 are hereby adopted.
All right, so moved, any discussion? Thank you, Stephanie, call the roll.
Thank you. Alderwoman Quista Mars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Resolution 2324-227, resolution to authorize additional services agreement with Arcadis for New York for wastewater treatment plant improvements for SPDES compliance project by Alderman Holliday.
You can skip down to the resolved stuff.
Thanks. Resolved that the mayor is authorized to execute an additional services agreement with Arcadis of New York for the not to exceed amount of $2,324,700.
Okay, open for discussion. Call the roll.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quista Mars.
Aye.
Resolution 2324-228, resolution to award annual electrical services contract to Executive Electric by Alderman Marticello.
So moved. Discuss. Call the roll.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quista Mars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Resolution 2324-229, resolution to award miscellaneous demolitions by Alderman Marticello.
So moved. Call the roll. Discuss. Anybody want to discuss this? Call the roll.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quista Mars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Resolution 2324-230, resolution approving the audit by Alderwoman Collins.
So moved. Open for discussion. Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quista Mars.
Aye.
And Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Thanks, Ernie.
Resolution 2324-231, resolution to transfer funds for emergency stormwater work of Lion Street by Alderman Holliday. Whereas it has been determined with certainty that a historic stormwater pipe
Just read the resolve if you don't mind.
I don't mind. Resolved that the following transfer of sewer funds is authorized. Decrease contingency, $120,000, increase contractual.
Okay, so moved. Open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quista Mars.
Aye.
Resolution 2324-232, consent ceremonial resolution recognizing June 2024 as LGBTQI Pride Month in the City of Amsterdam by Alderwoman Quista Mars. Whereas the city of Amsterdam proudly claims the motto of small city, big heart, and whereas in order to live up to having a big heart, it must be made clear that hate, discrimination, and fear have no place in our city. Whereas the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex community are often subject to violence, discrimination, and consistent efforts to undermine their human rights through our country and world. Whereas the city of Amsterdam will raise the rainbow flag on City Hall grounds to represent a safe place within our city lines for the LGBTQI+ community to be seen and respected for who they are. Now therefore be it resolved that the city of Amsterdam celebrates June as LGBTQI+ Pride Month and dedicates itself to be a welcoming and inclusive community for all.
So moved. Discussion? You can call the roll.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
I feel the need to explain my vote on this one. If you guys know me, you know I love all people and respect all people. I do not judge. However, it's my personal belief that no flag should be flown on City Hall grounds other than the American flag, the New York State flag, and the Amsterdam flag. So it's just how I feel. And with that said, I vote no.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
And Alderman Marticello.
Aye. Is there any other business anyone would like to discuss?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Thanks, everyone.